like you lost another one.
Domain expansion. Do you ever wake up wishing that you were greater? Walk through that open door, tell the ops see you later. Wish you could lift up a mountain or maybe raise the dead. Destroy an entire planet or even generate bread. Do you wish that you were strong or had magical eyes to keep a warp reality so that nobody dies? Conquer the minds of millions, tell the millions of lies. Rewrite all the constellations and celestial skies. Stop time, summon fire, drop a dime, reach higher, hunter, wizard, hero, fighter, pirate, ninja, reaper, writer. Bring the sun then, make it brighter. Enter at your own peril, pass a bolted door. Cause impossible just happened and you ain't seen it before. It's a graphic cartoon and I can watch this shit for hours. So prepare to be amazed, this is the show about powers. Hello, everybody. My name is AfroXMSA. That is Master of Superhuman Abilities. Welcome to the very first episode of Powers, the live stream where we talk about anime superpowers. All right. We got Trixie Anime in here already. He's this going to be Power Season 1 or Anime Legends Season 5 on Powers? This is going to be a totally new live stream. This is Powers Season 1. And then after Powers Season 1, my plan is to go and do Anime Legends Season 5. And after Season 5 of Anime Legends, I'm gonna cut it. Things don't live well past 5 iterations. So we're gonna do Power Season 1, Anime Legends Season 5, and then after that, it's just gonna be probably Powers Seasons 2 through 5. And after that, then we'll see what happens. So this is kind of an experimental season just to see if people like this, stuff like that. But Anime Legends will make a Season 5 comeback. That is a promise for sure. But yes, once again, Trigger saying, nice, another segment. I wouldn't cut it, just have it take a seat temporarily. Okay. All right. Good idea. But yes, once again, this is Powers Season 1, Episode 1. And very exciting topic right off the bat we get to talk about. We're going to be talking about domain expansion. This is the... this is an ability that is used a lot of the time in the anime Jujutsu Kaisen. And if any of you are fans of the AfroX channel, you know that in the first 5 episodes, I had a real beef with Jujutsu Kaisen. I tried to watch it a couple times and couldn't get into it. And then after episode 5, man, and this isn't much spoilers because it's been enough for but honestly, after Sukuna ripped out Itadori's heart, I loved the show after that episode. And that episode got me hooked on the entire series. So I am currently 10 episodes into Jujutsu Kaisen, so I haven't seen all of it. But I have seen enough to know pretty much the basics about domain expansion. One thing that has to be done, unfortunately, as with Anime Legends, is we have to run through all of the things that keep the on. I have to make these announcements, and actually, I'm planning on putting together a video version of this, so that I can kind of just play all these announcements at the beginning of live streams. But definitely make sure to go check out Patreon. My Patreon is at www.patreon.com/AfroX. There you will find a ton of ways that you can donate to help out the channel. Everyone who's already helping, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You can donate a month, and whichever you pick doesn't matter. Even starting out at the $5 level is great. But that does mean quite a lot to me. I'm not going to go through the tiers today. Just if you want to check it out, you can see the tiers and what stuff you get from the tiers there. Moving forward into the social medias, we do have an AfroX official Facebook page, and you can find that just by putting in AfroX on Facebook. But more importantly, we have the AfroX official fan club. And you're going to want to join that because then you'll be added to the fan club chat, which is already filled with a bunch of my supporters and friends and stuff. And there I constantly am talking to people. Trix knows I talk to people in the chat every week, ask them stuff about what actually the decision to make powers came from a poll that I put into that chat. I realized I just said channel, and that's because we're about to get over to Discord. But check that out. The AfroX official fan club. And moving on to Discord, we have the AfroX AMA, which is a Discord server. Link is in the description of all of my edited videos. And you can go there. It's an AMA, so you can ask me anything. Not guaranteed that I will answer anything, but you may ask me anything. And once I can make sure we have a stable connection within everything, I am planning on going back to doing playing having anime nights on there. I think that'd be really, really cool. Have everyone of the community pick an anime and have us watch it. As for TikTokers out there, we do have a TikTok. It is AfroX_YT on TikTok. We currently have 250 followers on there. If you guys could really bump us up there, that would be massive help. Thank you to all of the YouTube subscribers. We are currently at 453 subs, which is amazing. We are well on our way to hitting 500 subs, which is more than I ever dreamed I would ever have 9.5 years ago at the beginning of this. Can you believe it's already 9.5 years? Holy buckets. My channel is only about half a year younger than the Game Theorists. So yeah, we've been around since the beginning of the Game Theorists. So on Instagram, I am at the legendary Afro_X. We don't have a Snapchat. I don't know if we'll ever get a Snapchat. I might just play that for gags. But yeah, I think I've covered everything there. As for my other exploits, you can also find me on Facebook under DJ Blackjack. I am a professional DJ. And if you are anywhere around the Twin Cities or Shakopee area, I am the trivia host known as Quiz Love on Thursday nights at the Wahlburgers at Hy-Vee in Shakopee. So that's at 5 p.m. on Thursdays. You can check me out there. Quiz Love. Yeah. All right. So let's expand on domain expansion. So here's what I know. Pretty much and what I kind of should have made this week's topic about is cursed energy. In Jujutsu Kaisen, the main power, supernatural power that the characters have the Jujutsu sorcerers at least, is cursed energy. And cursed energy comes about because of negative just angry feelings, anger, fear, negative emotions in general. That all comes together to become cursed. Pretty much used their own curse energy to fight against cursed spirits. Cursed spirits are created when enough negative cursed energy is amalgamated in one place, and they pretty much become the fears. So there's of course fears of monsters, Frankenstein, Dracula, stuff like that. But there's also smaller fears like um and also negative emotions like hatred towards other people, uh fear of the dark, based on anything. Now moving into kind of a further topic. So Jujutsu sorcerers, as I said, they um, used their cursed energy to fight against cursed spirits. And one of the techniques that cursed spirits can use is what is called domain expansion. So, pretty much what a domain is in simpler terms is it is somebody's it is one's psyche, or kind of the plane of imagination that is in their mind. um, and if you've ever watched Naruto, that's an easy concept to grasp. The psyche is where he always met with Kurama. Technically, if Naruto was in the Jujutsu universe, that kind of prison thing for the Nine Tails would be his domain. Um, and it was kind of a creepy underground subway thing. But, anyways, the psyche, your domain is your psyche, and pretty much what cursed spirits can do is they can use domain expansion to warp reality so that around them, so that reality reflects the domain within their minds. For example, in the fight between Gojo and Jogo, don't know why any writer would ever make a fight like that, because it's difficult to say, but Jogo at one point uses his domain expansion, and he was kind of like a volcanic or fire cursed spirit. And so his domain expansion kind of took the form of a rocky, lava, molten, very, very heated cavern. And there are a couple rules inside a domain that Gojo explains to Itadori while he's there. One of them is that if you trap someone inside your domain, any attack that you put forward will automatically hit. Like in D&D, it is uh, uh, it's kind of like I think it's restrained. Yeah, I think it's restrained state, which says that within 5 feet of a restrained enemy, your attack will always be a critical. So, in a domain, the domain of the user, attacks will always hit. Now, Gojo says there's two ways to deflect this. One is to take the hit head on and use cursed energy to uh, uh, destroy it or deflect it. Is to unleash your own domain, and like have a stronger domain than your opponent. And so in one of the most spectacular moments in Jujutsu Kaisen, Gojo finally lifts his bandana, revealing a beautiful sparkling blue eye, and says domain expansion, infinite void. And pretty much all, all pretty much everything, he warps reality, everything turns white, and then there's a bunch of stars and cosmos just flying by, and then all of a sudden there's just a black hole, and you see a little bit of like flashes of like fractals and stuff like that, and that is because Gojo's domain, the infinite void, how it works is that it is literally having your opponent see every possible outcome, every possible timelines, but then those timelines are repeated and repeated and repeated to infinity. And Gojo's domain expansion actually works on a concept in real mathematics and physics, which is called an omega infinity. Pretty much take this idea. So when we say infinity, we mean a number that is so big it cannot be calculated. And we use that as a placeholder for any number higher than the numbers we've already counted to. And we pretty much mean that infinity is infinitely going on numbers. So infinity, take that. That infinity itself becomes an object. Now, since infinity itself is an object, it can now be quantified. If there is one infinity, then there can be two infinities and three infinities and infinite infinities. And an omega infinity is what we like to call an infinite. And you can also take an omega infinity and make an infinite amount of omega infinities. And that continues going on and on and on and on. And so, as you can see, eventually it is completely mind-boggling, and it would break anybody's brain. So when Gojo shows Jogo this, he is literally seeing every possible timeline in the universe. So we're even getting into like string theory here. The idea that whenever you make a decision, another universe is created, and there's an infinite amount of universes. And so what he is showing them is the infinite amount of universes multiplied on top of each other in stacks. And there is so much information being processed into the victim's brain at that moment that they cannot move. Their brain literally breaks. And once they are immobilized in the infinite cosmos of all of this, then Gojo easily kills them with physical abilities, like what he did to Jogo, which was just ripping his head off. But yeah, so Gojo's infinite void is like I say, enter at your own peril past the bolted doors, where impossible things may happen that the world's never seen before. But Gojo's domain expansion, the infinite void, is literally an impossibility, and it is being done. Which there's no good way to even describe that. How do you beat that? He is literally warping reality into an impossibility. There is no way to describe that. But that is what is happening. Which is why Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the craziest animes I've ever seen. I mean, the only way you could possibly get close to being able to beat Gojo's domain expansion is if you were the Flash. And even then, not even then, because the Flash can think at an attosecond. The Flash can perceive all of the lifetime of the universe in less time than it takes to read a period at the end of a sentence on a page. And still, Gojo's infinite infinity would completely immobilize the Flash's mind. So I think we're done, guys. Season 1, episode 1 of Powers, and we have fought be beaten. I mean, especially considering the fact that even if you brought forth hey, well, this character would speed blitz Gojo. Saitama could one punch him. Gojo has like infinity all around him and uses that. And he actually demonstrates this, that the closer that you get to Gojo when you are you are attacking him, the slow infinity, meaning no matter how fast your punch is, no matter how strong your punch is, you will never hit Satoru Gojo. Literally, the only way to hit Gojo, the only way I could honestly possibly see to attack Gojo would be you'd have to be Itachi, and you would literally have to stand there, meet with Gojo, stand there, and you would have to put him in a genjutsu before he knew you were putting him in a genjutsu. So you would literally have to warp reality before he warped reality. And that is way too much for my brain to comprehend. But yeah, that's the only way I can think that you could beat him. You would have to warp reality before he warped reality. So Itachi is a great example of it, especially like because if you think about it, when he was fighting Datara had no idea he was in a genjutsu until he was wrapped up in his own explosive. And that's the thing, is Itachi can make you think you are attacking him when you are actually attacking yourself. And that's honestly the only thing that could beat Gojo, is you would have to warp his reality or his perception of reality before he warped your perception of reality. And that is crazy to think about. So let's check out the chat really quick. And all of this, I will say, is taken from the perspective of someone who's only seen 10 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen. I do know, and quick spoiler, I do know that Gojo is eventually defeated. But this is from as much as I've seen. Trix's potentially multiverse level of data from information void. Yes. Trix's the infinite void can be beaten. It depends on reaction speed and numbers game, which will be troublesome. And funny you mentioned Itachi's Genshin would count as a domain expansion. This is true. Itachi's Tsukiyomi follows all of the rules of a classic domain expansion from Jujutsu Kaisen. So Itachi is technically a Jujutsu sorcerer. Who knew? Maybe that's secret. He came from a different anime from the future. But yeah, that's literally mind-boggling. But yeah, but it is crazy to think about situations like even Gojo fighting Saitama and stuff. Like Saitama can one punch anybody, but I mean, if his punch never reaches contact with Gojo, then it would pretty much expend all of Saitama's potential energy, even you don't know how much damage Saitama can output. Hey, we got Cryo Prime in here. He says he can also reverse curse technique to heal himself. That is true. By using the infinite red and infinite blue. And then I did hear from my nephew that eventually he creates infinite purple. Nice point out on Hitachi. Thank you. I actually am kind of proud of myself for that. But yeah, pretty much Itachi was shown to kind of be the best of the genjutsu users from Naruto, so he'd probably be the best candidate. But I mean, just thinking kind of for pretty much anybody who could warp reality. Yeah, anyone who could warp reality could probably and could do it fast enough and subtly enough to beat Gojo would be it. Because if Gojo even sees you start to activate something that looks like warping reality, he's on you. Like you saw his speed in the first or in the second episode. But yeah. Also, a few caveats. If using his hand sign, if using his hand sign is a requirement, or using his eyes is a requirement, then there is the possibility that with prep time, someone could. Well, it depends. Is his infinity always on? Because if Gojo cannot perceive someone who is coming at him and cutting off his hands or taking out his eyes, then that would be, and those are requirements for domain expansion, then that could also be a way to beat him. But at that point, you would probably need someone who was faster than light. Which, of course, there's a ton of anime characters who are faster than light. But yeah, we're talking in very much in extremes. But honestly, best way to straight out beat Gojo would be to warp reality first. Twixer says his infinite is set to on, but it's a setup. What do you mean it's a setup? Does that mean that like it has to be activated before he gets hit every time? I'd like a bit more clarity on that. But yeah. So that is pretty much what I know about domain expansion. If you'd let me know more about it in the comments, that would be great. Probably I'm gonna keep watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and probably like next week at the beginning, if we get some good comments back, I'll take a mention of those. But as for the plans for next week on Powers, next week we will be talking about someone who could potentially beat Gojo, another reality warper. We will be talking about the reality marble in specifically in Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and specifically we will be talking about Archer's marble, his incantation of Unlimited Blade Works. That is all for today. Someone is knocking on my door. Keep YouTubing, YouTubers. Don't fight the fro, and always remember to stay legendary.